Hello, this will be a walk through my Control DLTK max stats completion for the level Control on GoldenEye. This level is one of the more tricky levels and it has a number of parts to it, and I'll sort of describe as I go along the key concepts involved. I'm greatly indebted to Icy for coming up with a brilliant strat for the protect sequence, and also to Deep Darkness for walking me through how exactly it worked via a stream, so thanks very much for that. So I'm going to start the run now and explain as we go along. So first up, you will be familiar with the layout of Control at the early part of the level, shooting out the drone first, and then what you're going to be doing is luring the guards one by one, essentially dealing with them and using extensively the elevator. So run out on him, get back to the elevator quickly and close the door. Closing the door is good because you'll see him coming because he'll open the door, and you can move into the corners to get a bit of extra protection. I'm taking a chance because it's early in the level. During this next guard, I like to poke out on this guy until you see the whole of his head and he'll start animating, and then run back. The aim is to get only one of the guards to notice you and not the other. If two come at once, then you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. Making a bit of a mess of that, taking a few chances, but early on it's not too great a risk. There, I've just poked out on the other guard and I'm just going to wait for him to come around this corner. Now here you want to be a little bit careful because you don't want to waste too much ammo during the level, because it can get to the protect sequence where you get relatively low on ammo. Sometimes it'll happen, sometimes it won't, and you really don't want to be running out because you'll cause yourself a lot of issues for the end of the level. So all the drones are gone now, and I'm just going to edge out on the one guard. Don't go too far out and let both of them see you, but you have to go a pretty long way for both of them too. And I'm just going to run back here for protection. You'll see them coming around the corner and then you just blast them. I tend to play with auto aim and hit one in the chest and then try and get headshots thereafter, so I'm not using too many bullets. But you know, if I can use 13 per enemy, that would be pretty good. I often struggle with that. There's not too much danger. The other guy who's around the corner where the the computer that Nat uses doesn't ever hear you, so you can be fairly relaxed unless you literally see him. Here I'm just going to dash out on him. Fairly easy to deal with that way. Just do it quickly, and then you can let Nat do a thing and move on to the next section. Really, this is kind of the first part of the level. It's relatively straightforward. You'll die a bit because of rogue animations and such like, but really you just want to be getting to the silver crates area because that is the bit that looks the trickiest, can be the most frustrating, can take a while, and I would say the silver crates are not actually particularly bad. You're not likely to die in them unless you make a mistake, albeit you can get rogue grenades, which are the main problem. Here I've just run out so the guard could see me, and he's going to run up the track, and you just wait around the corner. A lot of waiting around the corner and shooting guards in this level. Here I'm going to shoot one shot down there to lure out the guard that's in the corner. I'm going to aim for the corner. Now I didn't actually see him come round, but he is there. So you kind of nip out very carefully. You don't want to be standing out in line of sight. But generally one shot is sufficient to lure him out as long as it's in roughly in the corner. So the next bit, you are just going to run straight through to the area where the remote mines are. It looks a lot more risky than it is. I'm playing it in 1.1 with a broken controller and I can still get through, so not much to worry about. First guard. Okay, that was very dodgy. the first guard you're going to shoot, you can poke out on him. You can see his whole head basically, and he is unable to shoot you. So you can just edge out carefully, get him with 5 headshots. That get rid of his body armor, and you're essentially going to let grenades do the rest. Don't waste your ammo on actually killing him entirely. What happens here is once you edge out far enough, the guards will be able to notice you, not necessarily see you. They can't shoot you, but they will start shooting the crate, and a lot of the time they will be chucking grenades. So what a lot of this is you're trying to take off the body armor of the guards and then letting the grenade explosions do the rest of the work. So one of the guards has died, the one I took the body armor off, despite the fact the grenades have been going off right where the front guard is. He won't have died because grenades do not do a lot of body armor damage. They will die straight away once their body armor's gone, but until that point it takes quite a lot of grenades for them to end. So what I'm doing is I'm just edging out. When you hear the grunt, you know their body armor's gone, and that guard has perished in the grenade fire. Now there's 2 guards further back now. One nuisance here is you've got to kind of wait for the smoke of the grenade to go, because it really sort of obscures your vision. You don't want to be edging out too far getting shot because you can't actually see the guard. But I'm going to deal with the back right one, and again you can see that you can get a reasonable amount of his head visible without him being able to shoot you. What I'm doing now is I'm going to try and edge out, get them animating. What you want is, if you hear them shooting straight away, obviously they're shooting. If they're not shooting straight away, they're probably pulling a grenade, and you want to run back into the area down here so that they're pulling the grenade while you're there, up at the top, but they're actually targeting you and chucking a grenade against the wall, which will be throwing it into the other guards. So yeah, you can see there that a grenade has gone off, not been thrown where that smoke is, but you know, further in, and actually they're killing themselves essentially. Really just takes a lot of patience. This is not actually difficult. It's just can be tedious, and you might want to rush more than is strictly necessary. Again, this is the final guard. 5 shots to the head, and I'm just going to try and trick him into throwing a grenade at himself. So I edged out to the right there, and I didn't hear any gunfire straight away. So I thought, oh, he's throwing a grenade. But I didn't move quite quickly enough for him to throw it against the wall right next to where he is. So this one will work. And there he's gone. So, and that is your silver crate area finished with. Make sure you pick up all the ammo before proceeding to the next section. And after this point, it's not mega straightforward, and it's always irritating because if you can, there's plenty of ways of dying to these guards. It shouldn't happen very often, but it's particularly frustrating because you've obviously spent a reasonable amount of time on the silver crates and got yourself into that position. So again, what we're doing is just luring them out one by one, not taking too many chances, and just hiding here and seeing them and shooting them as they come around the corner. This bit you've got to be a bit careful because you only want to lure one at a time, but they are very sensitive. They'll see you straight away, and if you lure 2, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble unless their animations are very favourable. And the final guy, I'm just going to rush. The next lure is a little precise, not too bad though. What you want to do is open the door from below and then stand right in the middle of this door and shoot into the gap. So what you're doing is you're aiming to hit a guard, and it will alert all 4 guards that are in there, the one that's being shot and the 3 that see him being shot. Then you're running behind this console, and all those guards are going to go to the place where you shot the guard from, and they're just going to chill out there for the rest of the level. They're used later on for the stair lore, So don't do anything to them now, but just leave them there. Meet Boris, get the ammo off him, because you know the more the merrier. And then you set up clearing out the guards from this area. So I'm going to pick I've got a strategy here which I think is fairly. I don't think other people do it like this, but what I'm going to do is I'm only going to set one mine on that one to the right, and that mine is going to blow up the guard immediately above it. And then I'm going to go to the top of the level, crouch and go in through that gap between the pillar and the stairs, otherwise the guards will see you and might shoot you or chase you at least. I'm going to grab the body armor, and then I'm going to detonate that explosion from up here. And the reason I do that is because it will kill the guard below, and the other guard will see that and will run upstairs. And this is a pretty safe place to kill the guard. Now, he can be killed earlier or using the explosion that gets the other mainframe later. However, I just think this is slightly less risk, because sometimes he doesn't perish in the mine explosion. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try and clear out the entirety of the room next to him with a single mine. And I'm going to open the door quickly, shoot the guard, and close the door and run away. By shooting the guard, it's going to lure there's a guard down in one of the side rooms, and he's going to get alerted too. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly now and gather all of the guards by the door, so they're in range of that explosion. That explosion's getting the mainframe and the 4 guards that come around. If you happen not to kill all the guards in that explosion, so 4 of them have gone, that means all of them, you can just retreat up the stairs and they'll sort of follow you to varying degrees. So you know, it's kind of there's contingency in that. Shoot out the drone with as few bullets as possible, or obviously it's not quite as easy as sometimes it's just 5 and sometimes it's many more, and it's a little bit embarrassing. Here I'm just going to run in past the drones, ignore them. That's where the guard could be if he doesn't get lured. So if you miss your shots, there's going to be a guard there. Just be ready for that. And then to save a remote mine, you shoot out the tables to blow up that mainframe. And now you're going to set up the stair law. At this point in the run, before I start with the setting up of the stair block, I'll just explain a little bit more detailed about it. So the first mine that you place is by the exit door, and it's going to blow up the guard who stands by it, and that is going to alert one of the guards from further down. So if you're familiar with the level, you know there's 3 guards down by the lockers. One of them will come running towards the exploded guard, and our subsequent mine, which if I roll the footage on we get to, is going to actually blow that guard up, and the 2 other guards by the locker who don't see the initial guy blow up will see the running one blow up and will get lured into the stairs. The second mine throw is it's got to be on the right hand side of that notice board. The aim is to kill at least one, but as few of those guards who are those 4 guards who are milling around there. So if you kill 1 and 3 notice that, they will all come running and will form part of the block. So that's very, very useful, because the more people you get into the block, the more effective it is, and that will help you out vastly in the protect sequence. And as I go on, so run on, and the 3rd, 4th mine throws are fairly self-explanatory. The 5th is you'll be familiar with is chucking it through the wall. This will blow up the mainframe 1 guard, and it will also cause 1 guard to run to the law. So there's the 5th throw, and I'm going to squat down on the stairs and I'm going to detonate the mines. And that is where the guards are going to run to. I kind of move backwards and forth because I kind of want them to be spread across the across the stairs, not standing all in single file, which is something I've had problems with. And here you'll notice a mistake because you can hear some shooting. So I think I was sitting around on the stairs for too long and a guard noticed me, so he's not going to form part of the block. He's going to come and chase me instead, and I'm not going to know where he is, and then I see him and I blow up the desk, but not before I take one shot. So luckily I had body armor, but unfortunately makes the end harder because you can't take a single shot, particularly Trev, who can be a little problematic. The guards that come through here, those are from the original 4 that you lure down to the door. So in this instance, one of those guards has died and 3 have seen that happen and are going to form part of the lore, so part of the block. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to retrieve Nat and then get set up and ready for the end game. And this is the bit you need to practice, really, getting that block set up with all the laws, and then just practicing the end sequence, because there's a few things that you need to know, and you need to know how to exit the level. So you can never practice too little on this. So what I'm going to do is squat down and sit under the stairs, and the aim of this is the black hat guards will target you, and they will target your location, and they will try and run down the stairs if you're in this position. They will be unable to do so because there's too many people in the way. The non-hatted guards will target Nat, obviously, and you've just got to kind of ignore them, or I would recommend ignoring them until you are sure that the black hats are in the lore and are not going to go elsewhere, because if you move somewhere else too early, they will target you in a different position. Once they've started trying to run down the stairs, they will keep trying to run down the stairs. So there's two guards. I'm just going to take out one. Luckily I've got a lot of ammo, so I can be a bit more liberal with my use of bullets, and that is good. Now sometimes you'll get a guard come out from essentially the opposite, that guy from behind the glass. Don't move to him too much if that is the case, because sometimes the black hat guards can come around the side. Very important note here is Nat can take a lot of damage, so don't panic too much. Do not turn away from the lore, because if you do, so I'm keeping the stair block in sight. Keep calling it a lore, but it's a block. Keep it in view, because if you turn away, the guards can walk through it, and then you've got the black hats after you, and that is not what you want, because it will be pretty terminal. So I can see actually one of the non-hatted guards has tried to run down the stairs, so that's kind of good because he won't be really in the way. What I'm doing is I'm just going to take this guy down really slowly, and I actually don't do this particularly well, because after Nat completes her objective, those guards will start targeting you. And so you want to kind of time it so that they don't start shooting you, but you want to go as late as possible for the leave, because you don't really want to have loads of time between Nat leaving and you getting to the elevator. So here I go a bit early. I've shot him a little bit earlier than I would have liked, but I'm just going to wait for Nat to start running away, and then I'm going to do the end game. So I'm going to run. And you want to be quick here, so you run through, open the door, close it behind you, switch to your mine, chuck that mine towards the exit of the level. That's going to blow up 2 guards. Blow it up, and then go to run out, but stick right, and shoot this guard. No other guard will see you, so you're fine. And then what I'm going to do is quick lean and shoot to try and hit Trev. That can be a little bit tricky and a little bit nerve-wracking, but once you've hit him, you're safe. And then I'm going to run to the end of the level. Because I left Nat too early and finished that guard off too early, A hasn't completed, and I am just hanging around here in this spot, which is a little bit hairy, but it's actually quite a convenient spot. It is not foolproof. You might get shot sitting there. However, it does afford you a little bit of protection. I certainly would not advise going head-to-head with the black hat guards because they're body armoured, so you can't stun them. Nevertheless, I would recommend thoroughly practicing that end part of the level a lot. Practice getting the guards into the stair block. It's something that I had a lot of problems with, so understandable if you do struggle at all. And practicing the escape, it's quite one of the more nerve-wracking things to do in DLTK, particularly as it's the end of a reasonably long level. But if you practice it and you get the movements down, it will work more times than not, I would say. The guards can be a little bit... The guards that chase you can be a little bit quick and a little bit variable. But ultimately, if you're doing the right things, you'll get the completion. Anyway, so yeah, that's all I wanted to go through. So thanks very much to Icy and Deep Darkness for creating the strat and explaining it to me, respectively. And good luck with Control.